Hello guys, welcome back to a new tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this really cool Lightroom for your product advertisements. This works really well with other products, not just football boots. And yeah, I really enjoy making this one just because I usually use dark Lightrooms. And I was experimenting with some light ones and this worked out pretty well. So yeah, I thought I'd show you guys how to make this. So yeah, so let's get into it. So first off, we're going to do is go to File, New, and the dimensions we're going to be using are 1920 by 1080. Just because those are really convenient dimensions, they usually fit most things. So yeah, we're just going to be using that. And yeah, so first off, what we're going to do is we're going to drag in our product. So as you can see here, we just dragged it in, and when you hide your background layer, you can kind of see that it has this white border in the background, well, this white background pretty much. And the first thing we need to do is get rid of it. I'm not going to show you guys how to do this, but what we need to do is we use our pen tool, and we're just going to go around it. And yeah, I'm going to speed this part up and I'll show you once we're finished. Okay guys, now you can see that we've actually pen tooled all the way around our shoe. Now what we need to do is right click, go to make selection, and just press OK. And now what we can press is Command J, and that will basically duplicate the selection and cut it out from its white background. So now what we can do is we can delete the layer that we had before, and then we can start to show our background layer again. And yeah, so once we've edited our shoe out of its background, we're going to make the background for the advertisement. So we're just going to hide our shoe for now, and what we're going to do is we're going to drag it in a random texture. I literally just got this texture from Google. Textures work really well with advertisement backgrounds, and yeah, they look different each time as well, which was really good. A really good thing about using grunges. So yeah, once you've just dragged it in, make it the size of your canvas, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go to Filter, Blur, and then Gaussian Blur, and we're just going to blur it quite a lot, so you can kind of see the effect that the grunge has when it's blurred. You can kind of see it has these dark patches and these light patches, and it's really random with each different grunge, and it really works really well. So what we're going to do is press OK once we've blurred it enough, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go to Filter, Noise, and then Add Noise, just because it kind of adds this really cool paper texture feel to it. I kind of like it. And yeah, so once we've done that, you're just going to press the amount we're going to use is 3%. Make sure that uniform is ticked, and then monochromatic is also checked. So once you've done that, just press OK. Okay, so now we've got the background for our advertisement, and now we're going to need the light source. So as you can see in this advertisement, we've got this light shining down on it, and well, it's kind of hard to see, I suppose, but it is there. It's quite a cool effect as well. So to do that, we're going to make a new layer, and then press B on our keyboard to pull out the brush. Make sure that white is our foreground color, and we're going to zoom out a little, and we're going to click once in at the top of our design. So you can press Command Z to undo it to reposition your light if you wanted to. So it might take a few tries just to position it properly. And yes, okay. So now that we've done that, we're gonna show our shoe again, and we need to make sure that it's centered. So to do that, we need to unlock our background layer just by clicking on the padlock. Then we're gonna press Command T, and we're just gonna drag in our rulers we're gonna drag in our guides from the rulers around the outside of our canvas. If you don't have these rulers here, just press Command R, and that can hide and show them. And yeah, so now that we've got our guides in, we're gonna go to our shoe layer, press Command T, and now we can actually center it out just like that, just by moving it, making sure that this little icon is in the center. And okay, so now that we've done that, I'm gonna actually resize my shoe, make it a bit smaller, just like that. And I'm actually going to reposition it, angle it a bit. You can angle it any way you want. I think that any way kind of looks decent. I kind of like it. And yeah, so I think we'll go for an angle kind of like that. So just press on the tick once you've done that. And yeah, so now what we need to do is we need to make sure that our shoe layer is actually below our light source. So you just want to drag it down, and then you can kind of see that the shoe is being affected by the light source. And yeah. Actually, I think I'm going to make this shoe a bit bigger, so I'm just going to press Command T again and make it a bit bigger like that. Okay, so now that we've got our shoe, now we need to make the shadow. So as you can kind of see, we've got the shadow here, and yeah, it looks pretty cool. Actually, I angled it, I'm going to actually angle it this way, just because this is the way I did it in the example. So yeah, we're just going to angle it this way. Okay, so now we've got our angled shoe properly. Now we're going to need to make the shadow. So we're just going to go to our ellipse tool right here. If you might have your rectangle tool open, so what you might need to do is just going to click and hold, then go to ellipse, and then we're just going to click and drag and just kind of make, well, what you think the shadow would look like pretty much. And once you've drawn your shape, you'll have this properties window come up. You're going to click on this box right here and then make sure it's on a black, and then go to the stroke box, which is right here, and then click on this icon just to make sure there's no stroke. Okay, so now that we've got our shadow, we need to show our rulers, our guides again by pressing Command colon. That will hide and show the guides. And now we need to make sure that the ellipse is centered with the shoe. So you just want to move it. You can use the arrow keys if you want to be precise. And now you just press enter. Okay, so now we've got our ellipse tool for well, we've made our ellipse for the shadow. Now we're going to do is we're going to go to filter, blur, and then Gaussian blur, and we're going to rasterize it. And now this is where we actually blur it and actually make it look like a shadow. So we don't want to blur it too much, probably about 20 will be good. And actually I'm going to drag down the shadow a bit, and we can actually lower the opacity as well. And there you can see that it kind of, in my opinion, looks realistic, and yeah, it looks pretty cool. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to drag down our shadow just so it's below the shoe. And yeah, so now that we've done that, we're going to go to our adjustments tab. If you don't have your adjustments open, just go to window and adjustments, and it will open this. And we're going to go to black and white, and that will make a new layer with, well, a new black and white color correction layer. And we're going to change all of these numbers to 0. So let's just do that real quick. Okay, and now we're going to change the blending mode of this black and white layer to overlay. And yeah, so you kind of see it just harshens all the layer. Harshens all the colors. And what we're going to do is we're going to right click on this layer, then we're going to go to create clipping masks, just so it only affects the shoe. And in my opinion, it looks really cool. It makes a really cool effect on the shoe. We're going to lower the opacity a bit though, just so it isn't so harsh. But yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. So now that we've done that, we're going to select both of the layers by holding shift and clicking. We're going to press Command J to duplicate it, and press Command E to merge the layers together. And now we can actually hide these two layers that we have here before. And yes, now we can actually edit these two layers as one. Okay, so what we're going to do now is going to press Command J, and now this is where we start to add the effects onto the shoe. So we're going to go to filter, blur, and then Gaussian blur, and we don't want to blur it too much. That was the blur from the background, so we're going to change it right down to probably about a 2.4. That'll be good. And yeah, so you just want to press enter on your keyboard or just press OK. Now we're going to go to our rubber tool. I said that really weirdly. We're going to go to our eraser tool, and then just click at the front, and now you can see it kind of erases the blur from the front of the shoe, but it's still at the back. And in my opinion, that looks really cool. I really like the way that looks. And yeah, so now that we've done that, we are going to add more effects to the shoe. So the next effect that we're going to make is a blur as well, but it's going to be a motion blur. So we're going to go to filter, blur, and then motion blur. And now you can see it kind of, I don't know, it just kind of adds an action to it. It just looks like the shoe is flying in a sense. And I'm just going to press OK, and we're going to use our eraser tool again, and we're just going to erase from the front of the shoe just so it looks like it's flying through out the back. And yeah, I kind of like it. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to duplicate our original shoe again, and we're going to be duplicating this original shoe a lot, so just bear that in mind. And the next effect we're going to add is we're basically going to pixelate it. So we're going to go to filter, and then it's pixelate, and then it's mosaic. And you don't want to do too much, but I think probably about 40 will be good. There, that'll be fine. Just press OK, and then again, obviously, we're going to use our eraser tool just to edit it away from the parts that we don't want to be affected. So that'll be the center of the shoe, basically the main focuses of the product. Okay, so now we've done that, we are now going to add this really cool 3D effect pretty much onto the shoe. So to do that, we're going to duplicate our original layer twice, and so now we have three layers of the shoe that haven't been affected yet. We're going to go to the top one, we're going to uncheck the green channel, then we're going to go to the one just below it, and then we're going to uncheck the red and the blue channel. And now what we can do is we can use the arrow keys to move around move the layer pretty much. And we're going to do that for both of them, just like that. Now you can see that we've kind of got this 3D effect going around the shoe. And if we wanted to, we could use our eraser tool just to erase some parts of it. I wouldn't erase most of it. So if you can see, like, a lot of the effect is happening in one area, like the bottom here. You might just want to erase some of it, and just to make it a bit less subtle, pretty much. So that is now all the effects to the shoe done. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add some more color correction. So we're going to go back to, actually no, we're going to go to our gradient map right here, and we're just going to make sure that it doesn't look like this. So we're going to click reverse, and we're going to set the blending mode to overlay. And you can kind of see it kind of harshens the color even more, kind of makes the same effects that the other black and white color correction that we made. It kind of adds the same effect, and yeah, it looks pretty cool. So we actually lower the opacity down on this as well, just so it isn't too overwhelming and we can actually still see the background. And yeah, so now that we've done that, we're actually going to start adding the company logos. So you can kind of see we've got the Adidas logo, and we've got the Messi logo, and then we've got this text underneath it. So to do that, we literally just found the logos of Google. So we're just going to click, drag them in, and yeah, so we're going to resize it. You don't want it to be too big. And if you find the logo with a PNG version, so if it is a PNG version, you'll know because there's no background, like there's no white background like we did on the shoe. And if you do have one, I'll show you in examples. Like this Messi logo isn't a PNG version, and you can see it has this white background. And we actually need to get rid of that white background. So what we need to do is we need to we need to rasterize the layer. So just go to the layer, right click on it, and go to rasterize layer. And then we're going to go to our magic wand tool. So you just want to click and hold on this icon, go to magic wand, then just click once there, and you want to select all of the white background. And once you've done that, go to select, modify, and expand. Make sure this it's expanding by 1 pixel. Press OK, and then just press delete, and then you can see that there's no more white background on this logo. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use our selection tool, which is right here. Select the text, press V on our keyboard to go to our move tool, and we're just going to move this all up just so it kind of goes closer towards the logo. The only reason why we're doing this is because with the Adidas logo, the text is really close to the symbol, and we want it to match. So that's what we're going to do. So yeah, so now we're going to press Command T, and that allows us to move. Well, it allows us to change the size of our logo. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold Shift, and just going to make it the same size as the Adidas logo, and we're just going to drag it across just so they're next to each other, and yeah, and they're the same size. So the next thing we're going to do is you can see that the Messi logo actually has a kind of a blue E, and we want to change it to orange just to match the color of the shoe. So to do that, we're going to press Command U, and now we've got the slider, and we can actually change the color just by sliding on this hue line, whatever it's called. I don't know, just call it a slide, I suppose. And then we just press OK, and now you can see that the color is matching, and that looks perfect. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is add the text. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to go to our text tool just by pressing T on our keyboard, or you can just click on the icon right there, and we're just going to click, and we're going to put in the slogan of the shoe, which is built to win, just like that. And we can press Command on our keyboard to move it around while we're still editing it, and we all could just press Command T, and we're going to resize it just so it's the same distance, well, it's the same width as our two logos, just so it fits perfectly. And okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to change the colors of the letters. And for this built to part, we're going to have it the same color as the logo, so just like that. And then for the win part, we're going to have it the same color as the shoe, just so it matches the same orange that the in the E in Messi. And it just kind of styles it a bit more. I kind of like the way it looks. And yeah, so that's basically how we do this tutorial, guys. If you did find it useful, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.